Hey Supremes, it's your girl Sophia Marie back today with another video. Today's video, drum roll please, it is the labor and delivery story time video. I don't know if I have any like footage. I think I did, and I was like, I'm never gonna end up doing the video, so I probably deleted it. But I will insert some pictures and different things like that. I might have a video or something from the hospital that I could show y'all. But yes, as you guys know, I did have my baby. I am not pregnant anymore. It was a girl. I think y'all knew that because I dropped the gender reveal video, so you should know that. It is a female. So yes, it is a girl, and her name is Mila. She is the most precious thing in the world. She is my pride and joy. Love her. And she's not with me right now, so I actually have time to do this video. I am going to do another video, and it's going to be a Meet Mila video, but today is just going to be the story time, the labor and delivery video. So let's get into it. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a video ever. Don't miss no video ever, okay? So yeah, let's get into it. So I had my baby on November 29th, 2020. And my due date was December 4th, 2020. So I did have her early, which I won the bet at the end of the day. Me and Babe made a bet. I didn't win that bet, okay? We both made a bet of when she was going to get here. His date was closer. We kind of changed it a few times leading up to the day because, like, she just wasn't coming, so we were changing our guesses, changing our bet, and he actually won that bet. But I did tell everybody she was going to come early. Everybody said I was going to be overdue or she was going to come on her due date or whatever. I told everybody she was going to come early. So let me kind of give y'all a little, let me do the timeline because I don't want to mess up the timeline. So maybe like a week before her due date. Yeah, like a week before her due date. It was like a Tuesday, and I went to the doctor's. So the doctor told me, she's like, you know, you're only like 1 centimeter dilated. Like, you're going to need to walk. You're going to go on walks. You need to eat something spicy, you know, have a lot of sex. I don't know, like, but you gotta get it started. And so I'm like, okay, like, I could do this. So then Thanksgiving comes. I had my appointment that Tuesday. Thanksgiving was that Thursday. So Thanksgiving comes, and I told everybody, I said, she's going to come right after Thanksgiving. How much y'all want to bet? She's going to come right after Thanksgiving. And I knew this because I knew I was about to eat, y'all. I had been waiting for Thanksgiving all year. Like, Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays. I used to really like Christmas, but as you get older, Christmas is just not as fun. Especially if you're not around a lot of family. It's not as fun. Same for Thanksgiving, family matters, but the food really matters. Like, once you get older, Thanksgiving becomes a little fun because then you get to sneak out with the cousins after y'all eat or before y'all eat. Go have y'all little whatever y'all do before you eat. And then come back and grub. Like, Thanksgiving's a little bit more fun as you get older. So, yeah, it wasn't that fun for me last year because I was pregnant. I was excited to eat, and we stopped by 2 houses, y'all. I was grubbing. So I told everybody she's going to come right after Thanksgiving. So it's Thanksgiving, you know, we eat, we're chilling, whatever. That Friday comes. I don't think we even really did anything that Friday. I think we might have went to the outlets, or that may have been a whole different day. I'm not sure. I really don't remember that Friday that well. I don't think we really did much. But that Saturday, it started raining. It was raining mad hard, but I had remembered what my doctor said. She said, go on walks. And I'm like, you know what? I'm about to walk in this rain. And I have like a little park lake kind of by my house. So I'm like, babe, get up. We need to go walk. He's like, it's raining. Like, do we really need to? I'm like, we definitely need to. So we get up, we get dressed, and we go to the lake and we walk around the lake. It's pouring. It's pouring, but I'm like, we're getting this baby out. Like, she's almost at her due date. I'm ready. It's the 28th. It's the 28th at this point. So I'm like, I'm ready. We're walking. We walk, I want to say we go around, we might go around the lake like twice. it was either 1 or 2 times. It wasn't super long because it was raining. But we did go around like 1 or 2 times. So we're going around. And at this point, like, she feels super low. Like, it feels a little heavy. Like when I'm walking, I'm getting little cramps. Like, I'm getting a little, like little signs. Like, oh, okay, stop walking, or she might just come out. So we're walking, blah, blah, blah. And then we end up going back to the house. So I think I cooked that night. But that night, like, my back was killing me. Like, oh my goodness. So if y'all know, like, the closer you get to your due date, your back just starts aching. Like, it's just time. Like, it's just time for baby to come out. Like, your sides start hurting, and you know you can really only sleep on one side your whole pregnancy, because they say not to sleep on the right side. Y'all gonna have to look up why. I forgot why. But you could really only sleep on one side. I was kind of, you know, flipping between both sides, but eventually both sides start to hurt. Then your back hurts. You can't lay on your back. You can't lay on your stomach. So you're just screwed at that point. Like, you're just screwed. So the whole night, babe is getting his sleep, y'all. I'm just up like this, just rocking the whole night. Like, and my back is killing me. I'm exhausted, mind you. But I'm in so much pain that it just, regardless of how tired I wasn't going to get any sleep. Like, it just wasn't going to happen that way. So I'm just rocking back and forth. My eyes are closed. Like, and I'm not crying, but I'm just like I'm just breathing. Like, it just, my back hurts. So the next morning, we were, like, kind of trying to get ready, pack a diaper bag, like, get the room ready, get the bassinet ready. Like, that was our day to kind of get everything ready. So it's, like, morning. It's, like, 11:40. And babe goes outside. He's like, okay, turn on the Raider game. It comes on at 12. Turn it on. You take your shower. When we come in, we can do everything while we're watching the Raider game. Y'all, we from the Bay. We like the Raiders. Okay, no Raider slander will be tolerated. Don't do it. So yeah, so I'm like, okay. So I get in the shower at 11:40. I'm trying to give y'all a good timeline because everything happened really, really quickly after this. So I started cramping a little bit before I got in the shower, but I got in the shower at 11:40. I'm in the shower, and I'm thinking the shower, the warm water is going to help my cramping. And so I get in the shower, and I take really hot showers, and that usually soothes pain a little bit. In the shower, and I'm still feeling a little cramping, and it's not consistent cramping. It's like every few minutes I get like that, like that little, that little in your stomach situation. And not even the stomach, like really the uterus, something, I don't know. But I get that little ooh, and I'm just like, I'm like, okay. One thing about me, I have a very, very high pain tolerance. I have an extremely high pain tolerance. So, yeah, like, I was in denial. I'm like, nope, I'm just cramping, like, gonna continue my shower. And at this point, the cramps are probably like, I'm really not good with time because I be thinking it's more time that passes than actually does. So really, it was probably like 5 minutes apart, but I'm telling everybody it's like 10. I'm like, they're like 10 minutes apart. So I get it like 2 to 3 times in the shower. I feel it like 2 to 3 times. And so then I get out the shower. The Raider game is on. I get dressed, lotion up. While I'm lotioning up, mind you, babe is back inside. While I'm lotioning up, or I tell him as soon as I come out the bathroom, I'm like, I'm cramping. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. But I had been getting cramps, so we really didn't think much of it. While I'm lotioning up, I get it again, and I'm kind of like, ooh, like, and he's like, he's like, okay, like, are you sure this is not, you know, contractions? I'm like, nope, like, I'm fine. We're gonna wait, like, no water is broken. And mind you, at this point, I had seen so many labor and delivery videos that it's like, everyone was saying, like, the baby doesn't come as soon as your water breaks. Like, it's just not how it happens. Like, the baby does not come as soon as the water breaks. You may have some hours after that before the baby comes. And that just starts labor, but that doesn't mean that the baby's gonna come right then. So I'm like, okay, like, my water hasn't even broken yet, and I was only 1 centimeter last time the doctor checked me, so I'm like, I can't be 10. Like, I'm not 10. Like, we've only walked once. So I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. So it gets closer together, and they get stronger, y'all. They get stronger. Mind you, I haven't eaten or anything today because, again, it's only like 12, and my mom was cooking, but we just hadn't eaten yet. So I start getting them more frequently, and Babe, like, starts kind of tripping. He starts kind of, like, freaking out. He's like, call the nurse. So I call the nurse, and funny thing, my aunt actually works at the hospital that I gave birth at, so she was the person that answered the phone when I called. And I was like, hey, like, just calling because my contractions are a few minutes apart. Like, I think they're contractions. I'm not sure because I'm a first-time mom, so I really don't know what contractions feel like. But I do know it's cramping, and it's every few minutes. And so she's like, hey, girl, it's me or whatever. I'm like, oh, hey. And so she was like, let me connect you to the nurse. So she connects me to the nurse. I tell the nurse what's going on, and she's like, okay, I want you to, oh, excuse me. She's like, I want you to drink some water and kind of just rest, like, lay back, kick your feet up, chill. She's like, if it does continue after that, then I want you to come on it. So I'm like, okay. So Babe gets me tall thing of water. I got my water, I'm laying back, my feet crossed, and I'm watching the Raider game. And y'all, they just get closer and closer and closer together. And every time it happens, I don't necessarily really say anything, but my whole face is just like, and so Babe can see it. He's like, oh, this baby's coming. So at this point, he's in the room tripping over stuff. He's getting things prepared. And I'm like, really? Like, calm down, because I haven't even eaten yet, and we're not doing anything until I eat because I'm fat. So I'm like, chill, like, it's not even that type of party, like, it's not happening right now, And so he's like, no, you're having this baby right now. So it just keeps getting closer together, and it keeps getting stronger, the pain. So I text my sisters and my mom, because we all have a group chat, and I text them, and I'm like, hey, y'all, like, I'm having contractions, and they're, like, a cool 3-4 minutes apart, and they're like, go to the hospital now, like, go. And my mom, like, comes upstairs. She's like, is it time? And my mom is dramatic. So she comes rushing up. She's like, oh my gosh, it's time. And Babe is tripping. Like, everybody's tripping, and I'm just kind of sitting there calm. I'm like, y'all, it's really not that big a deal. Like, I can wait a few more hours. They're like, no, you need to go now. So for one, I'm glad I wasn't being hard-headed that day, because I really needed to go when they told me I needed to go, and y'all will find out why. So my mom's like, let's take a picture, like, before you go. And I'm just like, I'm having contractions. You want to take a picture? Like, okay. So we were taking pictures, and in the pictures, I'm like, and I'm going to show y'all the pictures, because the pictures are so funny. I'm literally having contractions mid-picture, and you could just see it on my face. I'm like, I'm just in pain and annoyed. And so we're going downstairs, and they're like, let's put some, what did they say? They said, let's put some newspaper on the seats, so, if your water breaks, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, my water is not going to break. Like, y'all really don't even have to do all that. Mind you, they still put some stuff on the seats anyway. And we get in the car. So we're in the car. We got the car seat in the car. And we're on our way to the hospital at this point. Mind you, the hospital is, like, probably a cool 30 minutes away from where I live. So we had a little drive. So we're driving, and Babe's like, I meant to get a car wash. Like, we didn't eat yet. I'm like, let's just go get a car wash. Let's go get something to eat. He's like, you're having contractions. No. Like, you have to go to the hospital. I'm just like, fine. Because, again, I have a very high pain tolerance. I could have went that whole day just having contractions, and I would have been okay as long as we got everything done first. But no, that's not how it happened. That wasn't how it was about to go down that day. So we're in the car, and I'm holding on to the little thing. Y'all know the little thing, y'all know where people put their clothes and stuff, that thing. I'm holding on to that. With each contraction, I'm just like, like I'm really just breathing. Like I'm trying to breathe through the contractions. Like, and I'm real quiet. When I'm in pain, I get real quiet. Really don't like a lot of noise. And being quiet kind of just helps me. And I close my eyes. I'm just quiet and I close my eyes. So we get to the hospital and we walk into the entrance and they put me in a wheelchair. I'm like, this is mad dramatic. So they put me in a wheelchair and I'm signing in and stuff. They take my temperature and I was 98. I was 98.2 or 4 or something like that. But that's an important part, so remember that. I was 98. So they wheel me up. We go up and we stop by my aunt's desk. So she's right there. As soon as we get to her desk, I feel so sick. And there's like a trash can next to her desk. And I get up out that wheelchair. I grab the trash and I just, bleh, like I just threw up. And mind you, I didn't eat. So I didn't throw up anything but bile. Like I didn't throw up food. Like, so I was just throwing up my insides at that point. And I'm just like, bleh, bleh. So then I put the trash back down. I said, sorry. They're like, it's okay. We'll take care of it. They wheel me into my room. They give me the little socks and the little dress, little nightgown to put on. I put it on. And at this point, I'm getting real cold. And I'm going to let y'all know something. I was anemic during my pregnancy. And so whenever, like, I would have my little episodes, I would get real cold. I wouldn't want to eat anything. And then my sides would start hurting. So I got this a lot during my pregnancy. So I was cold. And I'm like, okay, like, y'all mind bringing some extra blankets? Because I'm freezing. So they're like, yeah, we will. So they lay me down. They check me. And they're like, you're still only, like, 1 centimeter. And I'm like, bro, like, this can't be. I've been eating spicy stuff. I walked. Like, I've been doing everything the doctor told me to do. How am I only 1 centimeter? They're like, your cervix is just really, really small. And I'm like, bro. So I'm like, at this point, I'm just like, okay, like, fine. So I'm like, okay, they're going to have to give me something to speed up this process, right? So they take my temperature. And I'm 101. Mind you, I told them that I was cold. I told them that I was cold. I told them that I was anemic. So they're like, you have a fever. They're like, we need to do a COVID test, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't have COVID, so we can do the COVID test. So we did the COVID test, and they left out the room. They, like, put, you know, the stuff on my belly or whatever to monitor the contractions. And every time I'm having one, I'm just looking at the screen, and it's just like it's showing me. So I'm just like, okay. So I'm shivering. I'm in the bed shivering. It's just me and Babe in the room. There's no doctors. So I'm like, babe, can you please go see where the blankets are? Like, because I'm cold. So he goes out, and he comes back in maybe like 2 minutes later, and he's like, they said they're not going to bring blankets because you have a fever, blah, blah, blah. They don't want to make it worse. I said, but I'm cold. Like, I'm anemic. I told them this. Why aren't they listening? Like, why aren't they listening? Like, they don't want to affect the fever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, they're affecting the fever. They're affecting the fever very much. I promise you, if I got some blankets, it would be no fever. So I didn't get no blankets. So they came back in, and they're like, you know, we may need to do a possible C-section. They didn't really say much about that, but they did kind of like introduce the idea to me, and I'm like, okay. I didn't really think much of it because my baby was head down first, you know. She was in the position she needed to be in. So I really didn't think that a C-section was going to be necessary. I really thought that I could do it, you know, naturally. So they wheeled me to another room. I think they told me, they're like, you don't have COVID. Like, they told me I didn't have COVID at some point during this whole process, and I was like, I know. So they took me to another room, and this is the room right before I went to the room that I gave birth in. So they took me to another room, and I'm just in there. I'm laying down, and I'm having contractions. And Babe still didn't eat. At this point, I want to say it's like 4:30, almost 5, like something like that. It's like 4:30, almost 5. Mind y'all, we left the house. I want to say we left the house at like 2, if I'm being honest. I want to say we left the house at like 1:32. So, yeah, so where am I at? I'm all over the place, you guys. So I'm in the other room. Babe still hasn't eaten. At this point, I know I can't eat because I am like, they told me I'm having contractions. So I am in labor at this point. So I know I can't eat anything. So I'm just like, okay, like, forget about me needing to eat. Like, you need to eat because it's like 4:30 o'clock. 4:30 o'clock. It's like 4:30. And you haven't eaten anything. So, like, you know, go get something to eat because when you come back, like, it's probably going to be go time. So he's like, you sure? Like, I don't want to leave you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, just go. So he goes and he gives me my phone because at this point, I don't really have no control over my belongings. Like, I'm not even thinking about my phone, not thinking about nothing. So he gives me my phone and he goes. And so I'm kind of just, like, falling asleep. I'm looking out the window and I'm just having contractions. I kind of fall asleep. And I'm still having contractions, though. So I think, like, a contraction woke me up or something like that. And then I wake up and the doctor's like, okay, so we're going to have to do a C-section. They did tell me that my baby's heart rate was a little bit low and that they were going to give me, you know, some sugar through the IV so that the baby could, you know, perk up a little bit. So they did that. They did that at first. And then this is when she told me, she was like, you know, the fluid through the IV is not necessarily helping her heart rate. You know, with every contraction, you're having some very strong contractions. So with every contraction, her heart rate is dropping lower. So we're going to have to do a C-section. So I'm just like, I'm like, no, like, well, I didn't plan for this. Like, I'm just like, okay. But mind you, when she says her heart rate is dropping lower, at this point, I don't really care. Like, I'm not throwing a fit like I am right now. I was just like, okay. And at that point, when I tell you, she brought me papers to sign, and she put an oxygen mask over me while she's talking to me. Like, I didn't have no time to say not one word. She put that oxygen mask over me, and she made me sign these papers, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm just like, it just all happened so fast after that. It was so fast. So, mind you, she's like, we're going to do the C-section in like 20 minutes, so make sure your boyfriend's back by then. And I'm just like, oh, I'm like, 20 minutes? I thought I had more time. So, I get on my phone. My phone is on 1%, guys. Like, I don't know where the charger is. It's really like, it's a moment, y'all. It's really a moment. So, I call him. He's like, hello. I'm like, I have to have a C-section. Like, it's going to happen in 20 minutes. Like, get back here now. Come back. And he's just like, what? And I'm like, I'm having a C-section. And then he hangs up. And so I'm just like, I hope he makes it. I don't want him to miss it. I'm scared. Mind you, you can only have one person in the room. So, and my one person was getting food. So I'm just like, I'm about to do this by myself. Like, I'm just like, at this point, I start crying. Like, I have like little tears falling. And so I'm like, I need to get somebody's number out this phone before it dies. So I go to my sister. She has 3 kids, y'all. Me and her were pregnant at the same time with our daughters. And her daughter is literally like 6 months apart from mine. So they're real close in age. They're going to be real close, period. But yeah, so I call her. And she gave birth during the COVID time too. So I'm like, she's going to know how to handle this. She's been through birth 3 times. Like, she'll know. So I get her number out the phone. And as soon as I get her number out the phone, it dies. I'm like, okay. And so I type her number into the hospital phone. I call her. She's like, hello? And I'm like, bro, I have to have a C-section. Like, please tell everybody. Like, I'm scared. Like, babe wants to go get food. Like, please just, I don't know, relay the message. Like, because I can't talk to my mom. Like, you feel me? So I'm like, please just tell everybody. She's like, okay, like, calm down. She's like, I'll tell everyone. And she had babe's number, so they were able to connect at some point. And he walked in, like, while I'm on the phone with her, while I was getting off. I'm like, he's here, okay, like, bye, or whatever. And so he comes, and I'm just like, I'm scared. Like, and so he's, like, holding my hand. And, like, right when he gets back, I'm not gonna lie, I literally had to go get my C-section, like, right when he got back. He came right on time, y'all. So as soon as he comes in, they give him, like, a little outfit. They're like, okay, we need you to change into this. Get out of your regular clothes. Change into, like, these little scrub thingies. And so they roll my bed. They're like, we're about to roll you into the, you know, the what is it, like a surgery room? Whatever. So they're like, we're about to roll you in there. So I'm like, okay. So they rolling me. They asked me if I wanted epidural. I said yes, because at this point I'm like, oh, like, I don't think that you have a choice if you have a C-section whether you want epidural or not. Like, I think at that point you have to have it because of the simple fact that you're getting your abdomen, like, sliced open. So I'm like, yeah, like, I need all that. So they roll me into the little surgical room. Y'all, it looked like Grey's Anatomy in there. It was lights everywhere. It was team full of doctors. It was heck of doctors in there. I'm like, like, don't be just in my stuff just connecting stuff. Like, I watch Grey's Anatomy. I know they be in there cutting stuff and connecting stuff together, and don't do that to me, okay? So they roll me in there. It's lights, and it's a little bed, it's a few doctors, it's some equipment, and then there's like a TV at the top. And there's nothing on the TV, but it's focused on the little, I'm really not good at hospital terms, y'all. It's focused on where the baby is gonna be put after she comes into this world. So I'm in the bed, and they transfer me to the bed. Like, they transfer me from one bed to the other. And they're like, okay, we need you to sit up. We need you to sit, like, with your head all the way to your chin all the way to your chest. They're like, and we need you to bend over, kind of. And we're about to, you know, give you the epidural through your back. So, or your spine. So, I'm going to tell y'all this. Everybody told me epidural hurts. Y'all are some liars. Plain and simple, y'all are some liars. The epidural didn't hurt, for one. I was already having contractions, so I don't even think that I really paid attention to the epidural. I was just more focused on the fact, like, okay, in a second, all this pain is about to go away. So just take one for the team, sis. So they're like, okay, bend more, bend more, bend more. Mind you, I have a basketball stomach, so I'm like, I can't really bend more, guys. Just make it work. So they're like, don't move. I'm having contractions during this time, so I'm like, it's going to be kind of hard not to move. But I didn't move. They did it. Whatever, put the epidural through my spine or whatever, and it was over like that. And then yeah, like, they were like, okay, you're gonna lose feeling. The first thing you're gonna lose feeling in is your feet. As soon as they said that, I couldn't feel a thing. I'm like, oh my goodness, these drugs are amazing. I'm like, what? Like, this feels great. I don't feel anything. Like, after that, I'm like, oh, cool, I could do this. So they lay me down, and they kind of put, like, a paper up in front of me so I don't see what's happening from, like, my chest down. So babe's, like, behind me, so I'm laying like this, and he's, like, right behind me. So I'm just kind of looking at him the whole time. And they're like, okay, let us know if you can feel this. So they're like, let us know if you can feel this. And it just felt like my baby was kicking. I'm like, yeah, I can feel that. So they're like, okay, like, does it hurt? I'm like, no, it just feels like the baby's kicking. They're like, okay, cool. So, yeah, it was like that for like 15 minutes. I don't know if it was really 15 minutes. If it was 10. Like I said, I don't really know the time. But yeah, it was like that for a cool minute. I just felt like my baby was kicking. I'm like, cool. And then they're like, I think Babe got up. Babe got up at some point. And they're like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. I'm like, how would y'all know? Like, she's still in my stomach. She's kicking me. And I look up at the screen, at the TV, and my baby is on the little thing that they put babies in. And I'm like, whoa, wait, like, she's out? Like, that's it? We done? And while she's over there, she didn't cry when she came out. That's another thing. She did not cry when she first came out. But then they popped her little booty, did all that, and then she started crying. But I'm just looking at the TV screen the whole time. I guess they're sewing me up, doing the placenta. I don't know what they're doing because I couldn't see. They're doing something, though, so I don't know if they're, like, lacing things up. I don't know. But I do know they cleaned off the baby, and they literally put her on my chest while I'm laying down. I'm just like, like, hi. Like, it was crazy, y'all. And then they were like, okay, you're all done. And, like, they threw everything away and all that stuff. And so they took us to another room, and it was the room where I was going to be, you know, breastfeeding. And I did start breastfeeding. She latched on literally right away. And my aunt came in. She was like, oh, congratulations. I'm like, thank you. By this time, it's like 6:20 or something. I think she got here. I want to say my baby was born at 6:23. I want to say she was born at 6:23. I don't know the exact time, and I feel terrible for not knowing the exact time. But I know if I asked Babe, he could tell me. So yeah, she was born, and she made it. She was healthy. She was like 6 pounds, 7 ounces. It was lit. I'm like, oh my God, my child's here. Like, I was so happy. It was one of the best feelings in the world. I do have pictures. I'm going to insert some. But yeah, like, that was my labor. I never anticipated having a C-section. I'm not mad that I had a C-section, actually. It wasn't that bad. I didn't really want to have this scar, of course. Everybody's like, no, I don't want to have the C-section scar. I do have a C-section scar. I don't know what I'm going to do to make it, you know, a little bit more appealing. I'm not sure. But I am 4 months postpartum, so almost 4 months postpartum. So I'm going to give myself some time, guys. But yeah, it went fine, literally. I didn't feel any pain except for the contractions at first, but I didn't feel any pain bringing her into this world, and that's something that I gotta say I'm thankful for, because I know it's women that really go through pain bringing their children into this world, and everybody told me, they were like, oh, it's gonna hurt so bad, and I'm just like, okay, and it didn't hurt at all. So I was lucky enough to not be in any pain bringing my baby into this world. But yeah, that is my story time. I've been meaning to get this story time out since Pac died, guys, and it's out. So I'm glad I finally was able to record it. I'm probably going to upload it today because I don't have the baby with me, so I'm gonna get all my content out while she's chilling what she's doing, because this is probably gonna be one of the only days where I could really do that. So yeah, I'm going to post this. If you guys like this story time, like, comment, and subscribe. I will drop more story times if it's something that you guys like hearing from me. If it's some good content, then I will drop more. Just let me know in the comments below if this is something that interests you. And yeah, I'm probably going to drop a couple videos today, because I do have a few lined up that I've been meaning to do. And yeah, I did get a new intro made. If y'all seen it in the beginning, I will tag down below in the description who made my my intro. She makes intros, she makes outros. She is a very creative person, so I am going to put all of her information in the description box, because you got to plug your friends, y'all. You plug your friends. You don't get work done by your friends and not plug them. That's not okay. So yeah, I am going to plug her down in the description. Go follow her. She's mad creative. She's going to get y'all some good content, whatever you guys need. And yeah, just keep tuning in. Like I said, this is from my boutique. I'm going to put that information in the description as well. Y'all go shop, ladies. I'm trying to get all the ladies right for Hot Girl Summer. I'm not having a Hot Girl Summer, but y'all are, so I'm going to get y'all right for it regardless. Y'all, I'm the plug, guys. I'm the plug. Come to me. Anyway, so I hope you guys have a good one. Thank you for tuning into this video. Like I said, I will be doing a Meet Mila video next. And yeah, let's keep going, y'all. We on the road. We on the road to 1 million subscribers. I said it. I want 1 million, period. we probably at like 60 right now, but we're going to get to 1 million, because why not? Why not me? You feel me? Stop saying why you. Why not you? Like, you get it? But yeah. So follow me on the socials down below. I will put in all my information. And again, turn on your post notifications so you never miss a post. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in with me, and I will see you next time.